So in answer to the question, what kind of capabilities is HR going to need to focus on to react to some of the challenges we see in the modern world? Interestingly, our research at Henley Business School and our experience of working with organisations on these kind of issues has highlighted four. The four that it's highlighted are actually judgment, tolerance of ambiguity, flexibility and pragmatism. Now it's interesting to note that those are not specific expertise areas. They're actually quite broad skills areas, and they may make many parallels with leadership development, for example. The reason that they're really important for HR is, in reality, the modern world is asking us to balance things, to reconcile dilemmas, and to work with shades of grey more than ever before. Some of that is driven by our structure and our operating model, particularly central-local working. Some of it is just simply driven by the fact that the world has got very complex, and a lot of that complexity has ended up in HR at reasonably low pay scales. So I think the judgment piece is very important. Judgment helps us decide what to do when we don't know what to do. And this is particularly important for HR business partner roles, where we're having to trade off HR requirements against business requirements, or central processes against local implementations. Tolerance of ambiguity, I think, is particularly important when it comes to, for example, strategic workforce planning. This is a massive opportunity area for HR to be on the front foot for some of the capabilities and risks it needs to manage and enable to deliver the strategy. But there'll be no nice, neat numbers in that space. We'll have to work with ambiguity and make sensible deductions about what we need to focus on. I think the flexibility piece probably lends itself very well to our approach to process design and also how we reconcile the needs of different parts of the organisation against perhaps economies of scale which we might need to or want to drive in a consistent way. And I think lastly, the pragmatism element is really just recognising that we are having to increasingly do more with less or with fewer resources. And that means we have to make choices, not just about what we do, but about how we do it. We can no longer set out our stall to do everything perfectly. We have to focus on fewer, more relevant things and do them less perfectly. In terms of how that relates in terms of capabilities that I've mentioned to career development for HR people, we have to ask the question as to whether the traditional approaches to developing HR careers are really delivering the four key capabilities of judgment, tolerance of ambiguity, flexibility and pragmatism. And to a degree I think that's true, but I think we have also made life difficult for ourselves by perhaps cementing in a career structure behind generalism or specialism, for example, which makes it difficult for us to work with shades of grey. Perhaps we have more of a binary approach. We also ask people to make choices often between one career path or another, when many of our business customers are actually asking for a combination of the two to be applied in situ. I think the biggest opportunity in career pathing in HR that helps us with judgment, helps us with pragmatism, flexibility, helps us understand how our business works, is simply to make better use of moving people in and out of HR and the wider business. It is, our research shows at Henley Business School, the thing which business customers value most or see as the highest importance in terms of development, but it's actually the least often used as a vehicle for developing HR people. So I think moving people around different parts of the business or bringing people into HR from the wider business is a much underutilised tool. If there was one piece of advice I'd give to an HR director about where to start on this, I'd probably say short term, looking at skills in situ. I think there's enormous benefit looking at business partnering skills and just making sure that these are in place. Looking at strategic workforce planning and metrics as key capabilities which HR is going to really, really need in the next few years. Longer term, I think we do need to look at career pathing opportunities and really try and bite the bullet on how we develop this judgment, this perspective over other areas of the organisation. And I think that is inevitably going to mean that we have to somehow find a solution for moving people into HR or moving people from HR into the wider business.